What's up guys, it's Chachi Power here with Rocket Punch Army to do a review of the ES Gokin series Mazinger Z. This is number 12. Can't believe we're up to number 12 already. But yeah, here he is. He's finally here. I'm kind of a little bit upset I passed up on Great Mazinger. But anyway, here is Mazinger Z himself. And this is a future toy. If you guys have been watching my videos, you know I don't have a lot of luck with future toys. There's always something wrong with them, no matter how much they cost. This is a little on the lower end of future stuff. It's actually under the Action Toys line. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, Future has very expensive stuff. Still had mess ups. This is on the lower end. This was about, I don't know, 40 bucks, less than 40 bucks. So we'll see how it goes. So this is the back of the box, and we'll see here that he does have an LED feature. All right, he's also got the Pander, the hover and jet version, the Scrander, and the iron cutter. He's got a little sword and looks like different forearms, the regular forearms I mean. And I wish he would rocket punch like that. But yeah, so let you take a look at the rest real quick, and then we'll get in here and check it out. Okay, so definitely much smaller than I thought it would be. Look at my hand. This is very tiny. I think I've just been used to seeing all the other SD toys, which are much bigger, and I'll do a little comparison later on in the review. But this is friggin' tiny. So here's a tray. The pilers are almost the same size as his head. So you get the jet one here, the hover. That wasn't a sword. I thought it was a sword on the box. It's actually like a little missile, which I believe will hook up into his stomach if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, and all the little accessories. And the Scrander back here with the stand. It does have the little instruction booklet, full color, right in here. Don't think I'll be needing this, but it's there. So let me just get Mazinger Z squared away, and then we'll continue the review. So now that I've got him out of the package here, you'll see he's actually really nice looking. I have to say this is very well executed. We'll look at the proportions all the way around. Again, this is SD styling, so you're going to have a big head and tiny little body. Future did a good job with the proportions, I think. The head, I love the sculpt of the head. I love the chrome gold horns, which are nice and sharp. None of that wobbly PVC stuff as you see in other figures. It seems like the paint on mine is rather good. It's not as glossy as I'd hoped it would be. It's not that it's not shiny. It's not matte either. It's just not as super shiny as I've come to expect, from certain Gokin, but it's just the way they do their stuff, I guess. The paint is not too bad. I usually have issues with future figures. It looks like they are spot on with this one as far as paint apps go, but of course there's always got to be something, and it's this. So I can't even have his arm up to hold anything unless well, there you go, right there, but any little slight touch, right back down. This one's fine. It's still a little loose, but not as bad as this guy right here. Now that we're looking at the articulation, might as well show you everything. We got the head here, all right, and the head is separate from the neck, so you can see there. And then you also have the neck itself, which moves right on the upper chest there. You have the arm articulation, and you also have the back and forth movement. So good amount of articulation in the shoulders. You have the upper chest, as you can see here. You don't have like the lower waist or anything. There's really not much of a waist movement, which I don't really think is that big of a deal. You have the hips here, which are nice and tight going outwards. No ratchets so far. You also have the swivel. Then you have the knees here, which have really nice ratchets. I mean, they feel really nice. They're not that loud, but they're nice. They feel thick and heavy, very high quality, which is cool. Then you have the feet here, which, as you just saw, extend to give you more range of movement. And you have the movement on the feet here, obviously. And one cool thing is I like the way the hips just come down. You'll see right there that little section comes down, not too much, but I'm sure it really helps with articulation to bring the legs out so you can do some super cool poses. And I skipped over the hands, but you do have the hands here on a little ball joint. Now that we have the articulation out of the way, I do want to show you the Pilders, move this guy right back here. He's got the hover one with Koji Kabuto right inside, and you'll notice that the blades here do spin, right? And it also folds up this way, right? And that allows you to dock the figure or the Pilder right on his head here. You'll see there's a, I think that's a button or a switch. And taking a closer look, it's actually not a switch. It's a little tab to remove the battery cover, and as you'll see, it's got two little spots there for those button type batteries. I'm going to take a moment to look to see if I have any of those laying around. And of course, in my usual display of professionalism as a reviewer, I don't have batteries that size. Now I think since these are available in those little cards at the dollar store that come with like 50 of them for $1, you would think they could toss in a couple. You know, if they're afraid of them just going bad, at least have them off to the side in a little, you know, little pouch like those little, what do you call it, vitamins and whatever that you pop out of the foil. You could have done something like that. Just toss a couple in there. What's the big deal? So yeah, won't be able to show you that in this. Maybe I'll do like a review follow-up or a written review to show you, but kind of sad they don't put that in there. So I guess we'll pop that back on and put the Pilder on. Alright, there you go. So I'm kind of upset I can't show you guys the LED. I thought I had batteries laying around. And most likely, now that we are on the subject of LEDs, I'm also going to do a, what do you call it, a size comparison with somebody that does come with LEDs, or LED batteries, which is this guy. Alright, so this is another SD style figure. I don't know if this guy has the same size batteries. I'm not about to unscrew all these things back here. It just seems like too much work to take out little batteries, but yeah, that's what he compares to with him. We'll do another SD figure I have, which also has LEDs right here, the Voltron, or the Gorion, not the Voltron, the Gorion. As you can see, he's dwarfed with his competition here. And do another one. This is a real competition for ES Gokin. Not so much now because they're not really making anything, but this is the Yamato SDs they were doing under the Metal Boy or Metal Box, whatever line that was that Yamato was making, which is, in my opinion, completely superior as far as paint finish. This has really, really glossy paint. Much heavier and a little bit more pricey. So this guy's a lot cheaper, and it shows, you know, compared to something like this, which is I think around 80 bucks, but you're comparing it to something half the price. So it's not really a directly fair comparison, but I don't know. I guess for this it's alright, but those are the other SD type figures I have to compare it to. Now I just showed you the hover Pilder. He's also got a jet Pilder here, which the wings don't fold or anything, but as you can see, they come right off, and you can attach this alternate piece here somehow, right, just like that. Okay, so you can actually dock it up here. Same thing, a little Koji Kabuto goes right in there, and just got to be careful not to push too hard if it's not docking correctly, so you don't break anything. And there he is with the jet Pilder. So we're gonna leave that guy in there, and I'm going to show you another gimmick, guys. Just grab this right here. It's a little missile. All right, to use that missile, you're going to lift the chest up. Do not attempt this with the chest down because you will scratch some paint. So lift it up, make sure you're clearing that little door, and then push that little button. That releases the little stomach piece, which allows you to attach the missile here. All right, there we go. So he's got that little missile feature going on, coming out of his stomach, right? Which is pretty cool, in my opinion. It's nice that they included that in something so small. But the absolute best gimmick of this robot figure, oh, actually, we're not going to get to that yet. I'm going to show you the iron cutters. All right, so he's got the iron cutters here. We'll go ahead and replace those. The arms just tab right off. We'll replace the fists on the iron cutters here. Alright, and then I can't wait to show you guys the next gimmick. It's really awesome. I'm sure by me saying it like that, you guys already know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so there he is with the iron cutters. Really cool, and as you can see, there is a joint here which opens up, and it has that elbow weapon system there going on. Not too much detail going on there, but it's worked into this tiny little figure, so no complaints here from me. Now the best, absolute, awesomest gimmick of this figure, besides having alternate open hands, is rocket punch feature. Alright, see these little forearms, guys? They actually fire. Alright, so we're going to demonstrate that now. I have not tried it, wanted to save it for the review. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and replace the fists and place them here. Alright, where's the other fist? Here it is. Pop that in. And, whoops. There we go. So we're going to test out the rocket punch feature. So he's got the little tabs right on top of each forearm, so we're going to fire. Totally blocked that, guys. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. There you go. So it fires pretty good. It's not going to knock any eyes out, unfortunately, but it is pretty powerful for what this little thing is. And of course, PVC hands are kind of weighty, but it does have a good amount of power. Let's try the fist that I blocked again. It's kind of hard to do with all these pointy things in the way. Oop, there you go. So really cool. Oh guys, and how dare you almost let me finish the review without showing you the Scrander. Oh my lord, can't believe I almost forgot this. So here's a Scrander piece that goes around his waist, and you'll notice the belt that goes around is actually really small due to his proportions. It's not supposed to be that thin, but for this kind of proportion you need to do that. And just notice my wing here is chipped. I don't want to take that piece of plastic off, but it looks like an X-Acto knife just hit it really quick and just, so I don't know what's going on with that. Don't want to really mess with it. This plastic feels and looks brittle. I don't know if that has anything to do with why it's like that, but there's a lot of, it's almost like it was cut out by hand, guys. Look at this. There's like an edge. I think someone did take an X-Acto knife to carve this out. Maybe they're trying to get rid of the, there's a lot of stuff actually. It's not perfectly flat. It looks like someone actually cut it out by hand. You'll see it's not perfectly round here. There's a little bump right here. This is kind of wavy. I don't know if you could see that. It's kind of wavy right here. I tend to notice things like that since I like to display my stuff. I like everything to look good, but there is a slight hump right here as if they cut it out by hand. Let's see how this side is. Wow, this is actually pretty bad. They're not even, they're pretty even, but again, it's chewed up right here. So I don't know what's going on with that. I think they're just by hand cutting out the little sprue marks or whatever from breaking it off the tree during manufacture. But come on, guys, do a little bit better job. That looks pretty bad, but whatever. So we're going to go ahead and put this on. So this goes on assumingly like every other Scrander, which is pop the wings on the side here. And of course you have the option of facing them down, but I'm just going to do them up for this review. So let's go ahead, pop this side in here. Alright, doesn't even fit in there. Alright, yeah, it totally doesn't fit in there, guys. Alright, so that was fun. And let's see, it's going to attach by going into right here, right back here, a little tab. Get these little pieces under his arms to go around the waist, tab it right into where his butt is, and it kind of pushes on the head, the Scrander piece. It does have like a recess here for it, but it kind of totally misses it. It's hitting the bottom of where the recess is, so I don't know. Let's see, bring this around. I'm not even going to bother tabbing that. That is, the plastic feels a little brittle to me. I'm not even going to bother tabbing that in since really would like to show you guys what that looks like with it closed, but this plastic feels so brittle. I'm not about to break it for the review, but still looks good anyway with it separated. Just be careful. The rest of the figure, I'm gonna have to be honest, it met or surpassed my expectations, because as you've seen in my previous future reviews, there's always something wrong. But the figure itself, the base figure, no complaints aside from the little limp arm here, which is the one I showed you earlier. It seems to have stiffened up a bit since then. There you go. But yeah, the Scrander leaves a lot to be desired as far as the finish on it. It looks just hand cut, which is kind of weird. But the figure itself, really cool. Definitely worth the 40 bucks. I'm kind of upset I didn't get the Great Mazinger. Don't know what I was thinking when I canceled the pre-order on that guy, because I'm not really a Mazinger or Great Mazinger fan. I do love this design, just the Great Mazinger is not really that cool to me, but I do regret not getting it, because if it's anything as cool as this definitely would have been a good purchase. It also comes with the stand, so you can have them flying with the Scrander, stuff like that. Typical of the other ES Gokins, it comes with a nice little stand for you guys. And I think that's going to do it for now, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. If you're enjoying the videos, please subscribe so I can keep this going. And until next time, bye-bye.